This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. This video is brought to you by Squiggy486. Thank you for being a farm baron. Hello everybody and welcome back to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Oklahoma 2021. This map can be found over at Facebook at DJ Modding's Facebook page. There will be a link in the description below to that posting. And this is, as you can see, a 4X American map. Let's go ahead and jump on in. Now we will go ahead and take a look at this map with the mods that we typically use when we take a look at these maps. I will say if you play with this map using seasons or precision farming, this map does have a custom seasons geo built in. Also has a custom seasons mask, and it has a custom soil map. Now there are a few warnings and one little Lewis stack error here in loading into the map. I've got a pre-release version, so I'm not sure if that is going to continue into the release version or not, but it is just something to possibly be aware of. So when we load on in here to the map for the very first time, we load at the shop. Here we go. We have a Case IH shop, Oklahoma. Looks like we have a very, very large area for machinery to spawn in. And DJ Modding has done a whole lot of people a really big solid by putting up some signages here. So basically these are the folks that he is wishing to give some shout out to, that have helped him with respect to the construction of the map. So I wanted to point those out. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the map itself. You can see this map is based on a real-life satellite photo. Take a look at the lands area. You'll see that we start out by owning field 16. We have a cattle farm and field 15. That is in new farmer mode. So the land that we own at the start, field 16 and the main farm, $445,000. Field 15, $368,000. And then the area in between those fields is basically the unbuyable land. $14 million will get you the unbuyable land. So if you've got the purse strings, then you can go ahead and pick that up also. Now this map includes several other possible farm options, and on Farm Manager or Start from Scratch, you start by owning no land. So there's a big farm here to the north that has sheep, cows, chickens, pigs, and horses. It is $500,000. There is a farm over here to the west that is a sheep farm, I believe. It is $353,000. We have a pig farm down here, $349,000. Another cattle farm, $301,000. We have cattle and pigs, $811,000. Here we have cattle, pig, sheep, and chicken, $409,000. And then I believe we have one more. Let me just check. Yep, we have one more over here. This is kind of an arable farm for $252,000. Now let's take a look at some of the other buyable lands here on the map. So we can buy lots of these fields are individual. Field 26, $310,000. Field 36, $225,000. Down here toward the town, we have some smaller plots. Field 63, $49,000. Area 62, $60,000. 58, $66,000. and so forth. There is no biogas plant available to you here on this map. Now, of course, if you wanted to, there are plenty of placeable biogas plants. And there are also, as far as I can tell, no sleep triggers on the map. But again, that's not that big of a deal because we have plenty of placeable sleep triggers available to us in Farm Sim 19. Now you'll see that this map is technically multi-fruit because it does have alfalfa added to it. Another interesting note is this map has anhydrous ammonia as a fill type. So you would use that as fertilizer. It's best that you're going to use an anhydrous applicator and tank. Now I'm going to put a link in the description to a set that is over at Nexus Mods. You can go and download that and then make use of the anhydrous, or if you happen to have your own anhydrous pack, you can do that also. Let's go ahead and take a look at the soil map. So we've got quite an interesting mix of soil types. We've got some silty clay and loam to the north and to the south. Fields here kind of toward the middle are mostly loamy sand and sandy loam. We have several sell points available to us here on this map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sell points for the bulk of our grain crops. We have a sell point for eggs and milk. We have the spinnery for cotton and wool. We have a wood chip sell point, obviously for our wood chips. We do have a pair of sell points for silage, hay straw, and grass. Even though we do not have a biogas plant, we do have a place to sell those. This map includes the ability to make alfalfa grass, if you will, and alfalfa hay. We can also make corn stalk straw and soybean stalk straw. So that is what those two icons are. And then we have grass pellets. We have two places to sell our pellets if we use the straw harvest add-on. Starting equipment is all new and all well maintained. None of it is leased. We do not have any animals at the start, and this map does indeed include contracts. Let's take a look at that starting equipment. We start out with Case 7250 Pro and the CVX 145 Magnum. So tractors ranging horsepower from 175 to 261. We have the Lizard Warrior Semi and then the Case 9240 Harvester. That harvester is paired up with the 45-foot Terraflex Draper grain header. We have the 2014 Lizard pickup and the Load King Distinction trailer to go with our Warrior Semi. We have the Kinsey 851 grain cart. We have the 16-row corn header also to go with our harvester. We have the Horse Tiger cultivator, Pronto 9C planter, the Mysterio 12 SW planter. We have the Kuhn Deltas fertilize sprayer, as well as the Breedall fertilize and lime spreader. And then we move into some placeables. We have 1, 2, 3 placeable sheep pastures and a placeable horse paddock, also in our owned items. Now, if we go to the placeables area, we're going to see that we do indeed have some custom animal pens. We've got a custom sheep pen, horse paddock. Take a look at miscellaneous. Silos are all stock. And there you go. So pretty much just the placeable animal pens are additional to the map. Now, before we get on with our kind of fly around, since we aren't at the main farm, I want to go here across the street because, well, DJ Modding has done something else here. And I would be remiss if we didn't point this out. A virtual who's who, if you will, of farm sim content creators. We've got billboards for Clutch, DJ GoHam, MRG mapping. This guy I've never heard of. Kendrick Farms, FS Club, Farm Sim Guy, Procedural Dude, Virtual Farmer, Red Dirt Ranch, and Phoenix Feather. So I wanted to point those out. And I have to say, DJ Modding, well, he's kind of known for his billboards. There are billboards all over this map. Really does give it a bit of extra life, if you ask me. We even have a map here, or a billboard here, advertising the release of something called Farming Simulator 22. Sounds interesting. I might want to check that out. Let's get a little bit of altitude, and we will go ahead and take a look around the map, do a nice little 360. So we are right now taking a look down towards the southern portion of the map. The town is off in the distance. We really aren't seeing much of the town at this point. You can see the shop where we just loaded in at. Our row of billboards. Overall, the map is mostly flat, some rolling fields. And there we go. So we are back kind of where we were. Now, I am going to flip up and turn on the player speed mod, because this is a 4X map. It's going to take a little bit longer to kind of fly around the map and such. So I do want to just speed it up a wee little bit. Directly below us over here, we do have our anhydrous and several other buy points. Got some sell points off in the distance. Oh, sorry, I misspoke. I completely misspoke. We do have a biogas plant. I don't know how I managed to miss that on my reconnaissance of the map, but gosh darn it, we do indeed have a biogas plant. It's right there. We'll take a closer look at that during the drive around phase. Over here we have a huge complex marked as Planters Cooperative. Coming up to the smaller arable farm. And we're going to go and drive around and hit all of these farms in detail when we get to the drive around portion. Off in the distance, approximately in the center of the screen, you have a dairy farm. In fact, that is our starting farm. Here we are, Banner Cooperative on our right. And one of the two big farms directly in front of us, where we have cows, sheep, pigs, chickens, horses, the whole 9 yards directly below. Off in the distance, we have another dairy farm that we're flying towards. And we have our pig farm directly in front of us here. Just trying to take a look across the map at this point. A few sell points below here, a few bulk buy points also. And Hydrus. We have a grain mill sell point down there, kind of the far southern edge of the map. We're going to hit that when we do our drive around. Directly in front of us, we have the second of our two big farms that have several different animals. Most of the farms on this map have one or two animals. Then there are these two bigger farms that pretty much cover all of the animal types. And that is below here. We will swing around and check out from the air another farm, potential player farm. A dairy and pig operation. And then we're going to just loop down here. The big Planters Cooperative is right over here to our left. To give you a frame of reference that we have now come nearly full circle. Nice interstate interchange over here, replicating what we see in real life. As you can see from the satellite imagery. And then we're kind of coming down in here to a residential and then a bit of a town area. There are several smaller either fields or possible building plots down here. And then several sell points also located here in town. Wouldn't do us justice if we didn't just kind of fly through the street here. You can really tell at this altitude that we've got the player speed cranked up a wee little bit. I'm going to go ahead and loop back up to the shop. And that's where I'll pick you up with the Mahindra, and we'll do our drive around. So back here at the shop, we want to go ahead and activate our shop icon. Get our Mahindra. Will help us get around the map as well as demonstrate to us where the vehicle spawn point is. And it is over here inside of this gated area. So we have a very large area for equipment to spawn into. And a lot of area to get out of here and then also get out onto the main road. Do have a fuel point here at the shop. Just in case, I guess, the shop tries to jip you on a full tank of gas. Now, customize, repair, trade, and sell icon and such is going to be inside of this rolling door right here. So here we have our icon right there. Nice big door. We shouldn't have any issue getting our stuff into there. So let's take a look, and let's hang a right and go ahead and take a look at Start Farm and a couple of the other farms here to the north, and sell points, or sell point to the north. So our main starting farm is directly over here to our left. We're going to want to come up here to the first blinking light and then hang our left onto this dirt road. And this is our starting farm. Like I said, DJ Map Modding loves his signage. You're going to find a custom sign at the start of, the entrance of every farm. Let's see, I find that this farm and, well, quite frankly, all the other farms so well set up and kind of just, decorated with stuff. It's not overly junky. The junk's not in the way. It's kind of where you might expect it to be. So we've got kind of an interesting silo complex here. We have our dump station right here on the backhoe belt, which then dumps into the bins. And then we have our silo out right here. And we came in, we have a slurry fill point for our dairy cows, our beef cattle. So here's where we're going to get our slurry for our cows out of that pipe there. We have our manure pile. The animal chute is going to be where we can deliver or pick up our cows, 200 cows in this particular pen. You'll see right there the water trough is on the inside of the cow pasture. Again, if you haven't seen our videos, we use the animal pen extension mod in these videos, which is what brings up the blue pipes. Helps us locate, one, where is the water trigger, and also will tell us if this map happens to have custom support for the animal pen extension mod. Inside of here, we have our straw and food triggers. And then we have our milk trigger right over here. Again, the animal pen extension mod is what puts the Lily milk sales machine here. We can position this wherever we want, and once positioned, we can actually use the Lily milk sales machine to have a driver, a virtual driver, come and take our milk away for a small fee. Nice little corn crib going on. Here we've got our header. Got another header there. We do have a water trigger. See inside the building here, we've got our semi pickup. And other such things. got a fuel trigger, some more of our equipment. Inside of there, we have a maintenance trigger. Then some more machinery. I do want to check, because we have seemingly two silos here. We've got the main silo right over there for our grains, and then I'm wondering if this might be some sort of forage silo. We're going to go ahead and find out right now. So, soybean straw, alfalfa hay, regular hay, grass, corn, straw, silage, regular alfalfa, mixed rations, chaff, straw. Yep. So this is kind of a forage silo, storage silo. It does not ferment, it just stores things. So you have your dump point right here, and then your, obviously, your out pipe on the other side. Let's see what kind of grains these silos are set up to hold. So wheat, barley, oats, canola, sunflowers, soybeans, corn, potatoes, sugar beets, sugarcane, wood chips, and back to wheat. So that is the starting farm in new farmer mode. In farm manager mode, you do not own any land at the start, but interesting enough, you do have the starting equipment. Okay, so you could take farm manager, $1.25 million. You could take that. You could also sell starting equipment and then use that capital to then kind of buy your first farm. And the farm we're going to be driving to next is the cheapest one, I believe, on the map. This little arable area. So you can buy that farm, buy a couple smaller fields around it, and really kind of get started on expanding your agricultural operation. And then as you have money, expand into other bigger farms and kind of grow your whole gameplay. So as a 4X map, this map is PC only. 1, because it's 4X. 2, because it's not released over on the Giants mod hub. Also means that the driving to and fro is going to be a little bit of a chore. Like I said, DJ Modding loves his signs. And I have to say, I like his signs too. And that's just not because, well, you know. Alright, so let's take a look here at the arable farm. We have another fuel. Nice sheds. Here inside this particular farmyard. Again, really nice decorations going on here. Then we have our grain dump point and our fill point for this particular silo. We have a maintenance workshop trigger just outside of this big shed. Got a little bit of a rack if we want to kind of stack some pallets. Some IBC tanks. That is, like I said, that is this farm. Not a lot going on, but it's, again, it's nicely equipped, nicely decorated. It's not too cluttered. And the clutter that is there is kind of nice and out of the way. I just have to point it out because, well, that's what people expect. Give the people what they want. Give you what you want. Give me what I want. And that is, hit that like button. Pound that subscribe. You know what? Would you believe that 50%, on average, 50% of the views on this particular video will be from non-subscribers. 50% from the next video I release will be from non-subscribers. I understand commitment is a thing. Fear of commitment is a thing. I understand. But it's okay. You can click that subscribe button. It's not going to hurt. And it just might bring a smile to someone's face. All right, let's go up here and check the Banner Co-op. That's over here on the right, and then we'll have the big farm on our left. Coming through here, we do have a scale. Then we will loop around to our grain and dump inside of here. And then kind of loop our way back out. A little tight. I mean, it's a little tight if you're coming through with maybe a road train, a pair of AB trailers. But a single semi-trailer, I think, will be perfectly fine coming through there. It's going to be like that. That lane ends. So the entrance to this farm is off of this northern road. Oops. Well, distracted at the transit authority is going to need to look at all their lights. They're all blinking. Just remember, if you ate today, thank a farmer. So we'll just hop out here. We have our dairy barn. So we have our milk sell point. Again, Lily milk sales machine helps us identify where that is. We have our straw trigger. We have our food trough. Inside of here, we have our water trough. And there we can see our chute for our, our cow buy and sell point. We have our slurry point, and then we have our manure point here around the corner, and that is accessed from inside the cow pasture. Some nice large sheds. Fuel tank. We have our maintenance trigger right there. Our farm silo, so we have our dump station here at this belt and our fill point at this auger. We also have another forage silo. So we have our fill point there and our dump station right here. Now here we have our pig area. So the pig buy point is right here. Interesting enough, 300 pigs. We have our chicken area, 400 chickens. We have our egg point. We have our food point for our chickens. Now this would be a nice place to be using that wheelbarrow mod, or a really small trailer, obviously. Now, we have our pig straw trigger right there. Our food trough. And then our water trough for our pigs. Now, down this long row. It's all right there, Porky. We have our slurry point here at this pipe. And then we have our manure pile for our pigs. Over here we have our sheep. So we'll have to say that I did my reconnaissance on all these, but you know what? There are so many animal pens that all kinds of blurs together, doesn't it? So we have our wool point. We have our water trough. We have our food trough. And there we go, our sheep area. Hopefully DJ Modding will put in some trigger markers here. He's got trigger markers everywhere else. Now we're not done. Believe it or not, we're not done, because we have a second silo system here. So we got our backhoe auger. We have our out pipe. And we have our horse area. We have our straw trigger. Food. Our water. And then our drop off for our horses. 16 horses. And that, fine gentlemen, is this big northern farm. Like I said, there is a ton going on here. You know, I would say even in farm manager mode, you bought this $500,000. You moved all the equipment up from this farm to that farm. That would still leave you with the ability to buy a good number of these fields with your remaining capital. We have a water trigger here, if we happen to miss mentioning that. Nice rack for pallets and IBC tanks. We will head across the northern edge of the map and make our way down to another dairy farm. which is over in the northwest, below field 4. Let's check the name of this place. We have Little Turkey Creek. And I'd say Little Turkey Creek is kind of muddy or rusty. There's iron in them there hills. There's either iron in that creek or it's churned up with a lot of mud. But I do like seeing that. I like seeing the muddy creek versus, always seeing the nice clear blue water. I personally have never been to Oklahoma, so I can't really vouch for how well this map is depicting the area. I mean, clearly it is depicting the layout very well with respect to the satellite imagery. But overall, I've never been to Oklahoma to, get a good sense for if it is fairly representing farm layouts, farm setups, the combination of paved and gravel or dirt roads, etc. So we'd be interested in hearing in the comments from any Oklahomians, folks from Oklahoma, what you think of the map. We have another sheep pen. 250 sheep. Then we have our water, our food, our wool, some nice sheds here at this particular sheep farm. Again, we have our interesting silo setup where we have our dump station. We have our fill point. Our workshop trigger. We have our forage storage silo. No farmhouses at any of these farms. Again, you can put your own down. You can either put your, house model down and then put the boots, the welcome map, whatever for your sleep trigger, or put your own, favorite farmhouse mod down here to be your farmhouse at all of these farms. So we've got our water, got some nice racks for tank and pallet storage, fuel point. And no farm would be complete without the great stars and stripes. All right, we'll head on down south and check out the pig farm next. The pig farm option. Now, I would say this map has lots of farms, so it would be an interesting map for multiplayer. I'm not sure if I would tag it as great for multiplayer, because I feel that I just get this impression that there's a lot of the map that's not playable. If more of the map was playable, I think this would be a really darn nice multi-farmed map for multiplayer. But the way it's set up, it just feels like there's a huge chunk of the map that's not playable, and as a result, there's a lot of areas that could be used as farmland that ultimately ends up not being farmable, like this area down here, got all of this over here. We've got this whole area over here. This whole swath through here. This area. This area back here. So I'm a little concerned that if you had 8 different farmers all on the map, they would run out of fields pretty quick and then run out of expansion options. So here at the pig farm, we have our silo dump. And then we have our fill pipe. And plenty of storage. Just like the other pig area that we've seen. We can get our pigs here. Then we'll need to go through the gate. We'll have our straw over there. We have our food trough. We have our water trough. And then down the lane, we have our slurry and manure. So our poo pile and our slippery slope. We have our maintenance trigger right here by our storage rack. And then another nice little storage shed. Then this is kind of a southern entrance exit to the farm. So as we now continue on, we have a sell point. Loop around. Coming in that way, kind of a little awkward to get into, but here we have our dump station. And that is Wheeler Brothers Grain Company. Now let's go ahead and check out this collection of sell points. Then we'll double back up here and check out this farm. I don't think that there is necessarily a way across the interstate at this point. So we're going to have to cross over here. So quite the complex of things going on here. We have our grain dump station right here. We're ready to come out of this facility. Here to a second grain sell point. Right here. And then we'll shoot across the street. And here we have several buy points for things. So inside of here, this is a curious thing. Inside of here, we have a farm silo. So we've got a trigger there, but I don't know what this is. I think this is maybe a bulk buy point. So we can buy fertilizer, lime, seed here. There you go, that's what that is. Here you can buy your anhydrous. And again, you're going to need the anhydrous applicator tools pack that is over at Nexus Mods, or have your own anhydrous equipment, because anhydrous on this map is its own custom fill type. And then here we have a buy point for probably liquid fertilizer and herbicide. In point to our scales. Loop around. Here we got a little probe action going on, making sure our moisture levels are good. And then we're going to come through here. So we have production and sales. We have Great Plains ethanol. So production and sales. I don't think there's a way to produce ethanol here on the map, because I didn't see a place to sell ethanol. So I think this is using a model and some signage, maybe either from a different map that had that production. So here's this is where you're going to go to dump your grain or corn, here at the ethanol plant. Then you're going to want to make your way out of the facility. Facing the same way we came in. So let's go ahead and hang a right. And then hang a left. Across the way here and check out another dairy operation. And this is Little Turkey Creek. The farm we're looking for now on the right. Oh, hey, we've already been here. Yeah, we've already been here. Really sure we've already been here. No, we haven't been here. I think possibly that sign's been repeated, or I just remember it from the fly around. Of course we haven't been here. The gate's shut. Anybody that's watched my videos knows I don't shut gates. So we have a water trigger. Right so. We have our silo out point. Right there. We have our silo dump. We have our maintenance trigger. Fuel. Nice big shed here. Store some of our taller machines. We have our dairy operation going on here. Inside we have our milk trigger. Straw. Manure. Food. Water. And slurry. It's another nice little farm. So what we're going to do now is we're going to drive across these, across the way. We're going to go past the shop to the biogas plant and then work our way around that busy area of the map, just below the shop. Then we'll finally make our way across the interstate, the southern area of the map. Check out the co-op, check out the town. Big farm, and then we'll probably conclude down at the Farmers Co-op Mill elevator. Oh my gosh! That was a doozy. That was a doozy, people. Whoa. Come on in here to the biogas plant. We have our digester. We have our digestate. Got some nice buildings here for storing our PGA equipment. And then we have some drive down and into bunkers. We have to come a fair bit ways down in here before we get that trigger. So there we have our trigger for this particular bunker. It feels like we're almost halfway down in there before we get that. And the reason that's important to know is because anything beyond this point right here, anything beyond that tire, is not going to get a blanket under it. So any material here will just be here. It won't get blanketed. Material here will get a blanket and beyond. We have our sawmill, log, sell point, wood chip area across the street. We have our log trigger, our activation icon. Our wood chips right here. move down here into this very, very busy area. Sell point and what looks like multiple bulk buy points. So here at Miller's Feed and Seed, we have a bale sell point, or hay, straw, grass, silage sell point. We have a buy point for lime. We have a buy point for anhydrous. We already talked about that. Loop around here, we have a buy point for seed, fertilizer, and liquid fertilizer and herbicide. That was Miller's Feed and Seed. Make our way around here to the animal dealer. Here we have the dealer trigger for our animals. It looks like there might be a way crossroads. So we have a few different fuel stations down to the south. There is one fuel station is coming up. Here we have a John Deere dealership. Doesn't look like they get too much business. We don't want to get on. Those are the on ramps. We don't want to get on the on ramp. Let's double back. Make our way over to another playable farm. Is this farm right here. So we have our grain dump for a silo. We have our fill point for our silo. We have our pig area. So we have our slurry. Just like our other pig areas. Our buy point there. We have our food trough. Our water trough, our manure, and our straw. Our workshop trigger, possibly inside. We're standing in it. We're standing in our workshop trigger. Head down the hill here, we have our forage silo that we have seen on other farms. We have our manure point for our cows. Our cow delivery point. We have our food trough, straw trigger, and our water trough. Our cow's slurry point is right here. And that is, oh, there we have our milk. There we go. And that is this particular farm. Fuel. So let's head on over to the next point of interest. I guess we'll get this farm here. We need to take a right turn. There's the farm buildings. And this is the second largest farm here on the map. So we've got some nice sheds going on. Our pig area. Oh, sorry, this isn't our pig area. This is our cow area. Sorry about that. We've got our milk point, our water trough, our manure pile down here below the hill. We have our food trough. We have our straw trigger. Then we have our cow delivery point. We have our slurry point. We have our forage silos, so our dump and our fill on either sides. We have our pigs. We have our food trough, water trough, straw, our manure, and our slurry for the pigs. We have fuel. Our maintenance trigger. We have a water trigger. Then we have a chicken coop right here. Food trough and our eggs. Then we have our horse pen. Sorry, sheep. Sheep. Wool. Food. Water. Then another silo up here. We have our out pipe and our in pipe. And maybe this area doesn't have horse. Chicken, sheep, pig, cow. Yeah, no horse at this farm. All right, we need to make our way back up because we need to hit Cowmen's Feed. We need to find the gas station, hit Planters Cooperative, and then we'll come back down here. So we have doubled back, and we are back up here. Show you where we are. So we're back up here. We have the animal dealer. We have that farm there, the cow and pig farm. We have the shop. Here's Miller's Feed and Seed. This is the John Deere dealership that was vacant. It was Crossroad. Then it brings us down to this dirt road. And here we have another sell point for silage, hay straw, and grass. Guessing that this is the fuel point. This is the fuel point that we're seeing on the map. Here at this pretty ghost townish John Deere dealership. We need to, as best I can tell, get on the interstate. I like that low clearance. That was nice. That's pretty cool. We're going to jump on the interstate here. I think we have to get up there to get to the co-op. Hopefully there is a cut across. Yep. So this is the Planters Co-op. Sell point. And I think we're just gonna loop through the grass there. Make our way back out. Interstate 40, cutting across the great state of Oklahoma. Right? Can you even say the state without wanting to break into song? I don't think I could ever live there because I don't think I could ever stop singing. and back under the underpass, under the overpass. Then you go over the underpass, right? Let's see what this is. Coffee Grain Co-op. And then we have Love's truck stop over here for fuel. And here we have our fuel stations, fuel pumps. That's pretty cool to see. But I think, what other farm sim map have we seen like a truck stop? City of Eric, Oklahoma. So we do have a series of sell points down here in town. Try to quickly get through those. Nice BP fuel station. Well, plenty of fuel stations down here in town. Plenty of grain elevators also. So here we have another dump station. Let's make our way across town. By Walmart. What looks like Con Agri Mills. Nice rail siding. Here we have our dump station for the mills. We'll head south to the main town crossroads. We have our cotton and wool sell point at Black Sheep. There we have that. Trucking company over there. Peterbilt trucks. Bank of America. Dunkin' Donuts. Burger King, KFC. And another fuel point. So we got maybe a firehouse there. Truck dealer, McDonald's, Tractor Supply. grain sell point here. Tim Hortons. I thought that was Canadian. But what do I know? Applebee's. Another fuel point. We'll head on out of town. I think. Swan Brothers. We need to hit Swan Brothers. So let's double back. Double back. There we have another Loves. Swan Brothers is hidden back in them. Hidden back in them there trees. That's where that farm was. It was here on the southern side of the map. And then we went back up that way to double back. There is no shortage of sell points here. There will be plenty of time for you to get good prices scattered all around the map. Here we have our milk sales. Milk and egg sales, I believe. And one more sell point, everybody. Hard to believe we have just one more sell point, right? It's like this map just goes on and on and on and on. I do like this sign. We need to make our way back down here to the main drag through this town, Eric, Oklahoma. And it's going to run us out here to the southwest corner of the map where we can get to our final sell point. And the prices better be good down here because this is a long drive. There is absolutely nothing else out here. Traffic's moving on at a decent clip on these main roads. And we're going at 60 and we're slowly overtaking it. Whoa. Here we are at our final destination. Hope everyone has their seats in an upright position, safety belts buckled, and everyone is ready. Got their trays in a upright position as well. We know you have your choice in map review videos, and we are so glad that you chose to ride along with us here at the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. If you liked your trip today, please go ahead and click that like button. Let me know in the comments. Share the video to your friends, your neighbors, your sons, your daughters, and all of those that you love and hate. Because you know what? You want to. But all seriousness aside, let me know in the comments, what do you think of this particular map? This is Oklahoma 4K 2021. Not 4K, 4X. What am I doing? This video is recorded in 4K. This isn't a 4K video. And until next time, happy farming.